Hello. Last class in inductive effect, we have discussed the application portion, and in that application portion, we have already discussed the stability of ions and also the acidic strength. Today, we are going to discuss the in application portion base strength, and then we are going to start the resonance. So let's start the next application, that is strength base is strength, right? Very similar to the process, or you can say important points that we have written in acidic strength. We are going to make some conclusion how to compare different base, their base strength, right? So first point, as we have written in acidic strength, first point there was more is the Ka value, stronger is the acid. In similar way, if you are going to define base strength for base, it is defined by Kb value, base dissociation constant. So let us write the first point, that is more is the Kb value is stronger is the base, is the base. And in terms of pKb value, we have also discussed that pKa value in acidic strength, right? In similar way, we can write lesser is the pKb value is stronger is the base, right? I hope these 2 points are clear. If you are not clear about what is Kb and pKb, pKb is minus log of Kb, and what is Kb? The full name of Kb is base dissociation constant. If you are taking any weak base, let us say I have BOH, let's say BOH is any weak base, and if you are placing it in aqueous medium, there will be an ionic equilibrium between undissociated molecule and dissociated ion. After dissociation, it is going to form B plus in aqueous medium and OH minus in aqueous medium, right? If you will write the equilibrium constant for this reaction, the equilibrium constant is the concentration of B plus into concentration of OH minus divided by the concentration of BOH. So this equilibrium constant itself is known as base dissociation constant, Kb, in case of base, right? It is very parallel conclusion as we have made in acidic strength. So I am not going in detail. We have already done in acidic strength, so I am just making the points and we'll do 1 or 2 problems. Then we'll start resonance. So these 2 points have already discussed in acidic strength. And next, the important point is stronger is the base. Stronger is the base, lesser is the stability. Very similar to the point made in acidic strength. If the base is strong, it is readily going to lose OH minus, and the stability of the base species itself is going to decrease. If the base is weak, just imagine a base is weak, it is have lesser tendency to release OH minus or lesser tendency to accept H plus. So its own identity will be maintained for a longer duration, and in that case that base is going to be more stable. In context of that, the statement is made, stronger is the base, lesser is the stability, or you can say weaker is the base, more is the stability, right? Last but not the least, most important statement is if you want to compare the base strength, very similar to the point we have made in acidic strength. If you want to compare the acidic strength of 2 or more acid, then you need to write the conjugate base, and then just compare the base stability of conjugate base. And the statement was, more is the stability of conjugate base, stronger is the parent acid, right? In similar way, we can make a point here. If you want to compare the base strength of two or more species, then just write the conjugate acid of that base, right? And how to write the conjugate acid? If you have any base, let's say ammonia. Ammonia is a base species. If you want to write the conjugate acid of it, just add H plus into it, right? Take any base and H plus, whatever species you are going to get, that is what actually NH4 plus. NH4 plus will be the conjugate acid of ammonia. So if you want to write the conjugate acid of a base, just add H plus, right? And then make a similar statement, more is the stability of conjugate acid, stronger is the parent base, right? So let's write the last statement, and it is very important for problem solving. More is the stability of conjugate base, conjugate acid is stronger is the parent base. Is stronger is the parent base. These are the important points to compare the base strength. I'll add one more statement to decide the base strength. After having the discussion of resonance and hyperconjugation, I'll add one more statement, right? And that will be based on lone pair availability. So I'll discuss that point. But up to inductive effect, you have to clear about these four statements, how to compare the base strength. And the most frequently used statement is the last one. More is the stability of conjugate acid, stronger is the parent base, and sometimes third one will also be used. Stronger is the base, lesser is the stability of that particular base, right? So let us do one or two problem for the inductive effect, then we'll move ahead. The problem is, let's write the first question. First question is, let's say if it is ammonia, methylamine, ethylamine, C2H5 NH2, and add more propylamine, C3H7 NH2, and the next one is it is CH3CH CH3 NH2 isopropylamine. It is given total 1 2 3 4 5 species are given, and it is asked to compare the base strength, right? If it is asked to compare base strength, then what we are going to do, very similar to the process that we were doing in acidic strength, we are going to write the conjugate acid, and then we'll use the last statement, more is the stability of conjugate acid, stronger is the parent base. So to write the conjugate acid, we have to add H plus in each and every base that we have. If you are going to add H plus in ammonia, it will become NH4 plus, right? 4 hydrogen will attach with the nitrogen, and there will be a positive charge on nitrogen. This is the conjugate acid of the first base, right? It is the conjugate acid of first base. First base is ammonia. If you want to write the conjugate acid of the second one, it is CS3 nitrogen. Now there is 2 hydrogen which is already attached with the nitrogen. Add one more hydrogen to the nitrogen and place positive charge. This is the conjugate acid of methylamine. Next, ethylamine is CH3 CH2, and then 2 hydrogen is already there. Add one more hydrogen and place positive charge on nitrogen. This is the conjugate acid of the third one. Now the next one is propylamine, right? Propylamine, it is CH3, CH2, CH2, NS3 positive, right? And the next one is isopropylamine. Isopropylamine is CH3, CH3 and NH3 plus. Now what we look for, we need to decide the stability of these conjugate acid, and for the stability definitely we are going for the stability of positive charge present on nitrogen. And if you look, these alkyl groups are going to apply plus I effect, right? Again I'll repeat the same statement. If you want to compare the acidic strength or base strength or stability of that particular cation, anion, then I have repeated the statement. The portion which is common, do not use your mind over there. Use your mind the portion which is different. In first one, if you compare the first and second one, this NH3 plus is common. In first one it is hydrogen and second one it is CH3, right? And similarly, if you compare with the third one, again NH3 is common, NH3 plus is common. Ethyl group will be there, which is different. Next, fourth one it is propyl group, and the fifth one it is isopropyl group, right? Now hydrogen is what? Hydrogen is our reference. Hydrogen is reference. Hydrogen cannot donate or cannot pull electron by using inductive effect. CH3 is going to use its plus I effect. Plus I effect means it is going to donate its electron by using inductive effect. Similarly, ethyl is also going to use plus I effect. Propyl is also going to use plus I effect, and isopropyl is also going to use plus I effect. So if we are going to compare the stability of these positive charge, if there is electron donating group attached with the nitrogen and nitrogen is carrying positive charge, by the donation of electron, definitely the magnitude of positive charge is going to decrease. And our statement was, to decide the stability of ions, lesser is the magnitude of charge, more is the stability, right? So in these four cases, second, third, fourth and fifth, in all these four cases the magnitude of positive charge is going to decrease, but in first one there is no effect on magnitude of positive charge. So I can say the maximum magnitude of positive charge is going to be in first one, so it is going to be the least stable. First conjugate acid is least stable. Now if you want to compare in second, third and fourth, fifth, definitely the plus I power electron donation ability of methyl is less than ethyl, and electron donation ability of ethyl is going to be less than propyl, right? Now we need to compare this propyl and isopropyl, right? We have already discussed, if you remember some question of that stability of cation and anion, there I was discussed that 2-degree carbon or 3-degree carbon, if it is directly attached with the positive charge or negative charge, then electron donation ability of 2-degree carbon is going to be more than 1-degree carbon. So out of this propyl and isopropyl, electron donation ability of isopropyl is going to be more than propyl, right? Because here it is 2-degree carbon which is directly attached with the nitrogen. So what I am saying, the minimum positive charge which is going to be appear on nitrogen will be in fifth one. The reason is the electron donation ability is maximum in case of isopropyl. So isopropyl, the isopropyl cation, NH3 cation, will be most stable. So the most stable one is fifth one, and then definitely it is fourth one. Then out of this methyl ethyl, we know that ethyl one is going to apply more I effect, inductive effect. So it will be 3 and then 2, right? These are the stability order. This is the stability order for the conjugate acid. The base we have given, it is given in the question. So whatever we are getting the stability order of conjugate acid, same will be the order of base strength of parent base, because statement was more is the stability of conjugate acid, stronger is the parent base. So this is the order of stability of conjugate acid, and same will be the order of strength of base given in the question. So this is the process. By using, you can compare the base strength if it is given in the question, two or more compound. This I think is clear to you. Rest, do more problem from the MS1 book that I have already shared with you. Just do problems from that book. If you are getting any doubt, I will discuss in class. Now next is let's say start the resonance, right? Resonance, it is a very important topic. Resonance, there are a phobia to many students by this word resonance. I'll start with an example, right? Let's start resonance with an example and try to understand what is resonance actually. There are few terms: resonance, resonance hybrid, resonance energy, and contribution of different resonating structure in hybrid. These points actually making trouble to student level. So I'm starting it with an example, then I will write the important point and definition. Let's say I have a molecule of ozone, O3, and if it is asked to draw the Lewis structure of ozone, what is the Lewis structure? It is there is one oxygen double bond, and there is one oxygen coordinate bond, right? This is the coordinate bond structure of ozone. If you want to draw the covalent bond structure of ozone, what you need to do, draw a double covalent bond at one side, and next side just draw oxygen single covalent bond. This arrow one is what actually coordinate bond, right? If you want to convert coordinate bond to covalent bond, normal covalent bond, then what you need to do, this arrow is pointing towards the atom. The atom which is present at the arrow side, this atom is known as acceptor atom, and the atom present at the tail side is known as donor atom. So what you need to do, place negative charge on acceptor atom and positive charge on donor atom. This is the covalent bond structure of ozone, and this one is coordinate bond structure. I'll start with the covalent bond structure of ozone, because here you can see, if you are knowing anything about resonance, many people are going to say this negative charge and pi bond will be in conjugation, and how resonance is shown. This negative charge will form the pi bond, and next pi bond is going to break, and you will get the different structure, right? So I'll start with this covalent bond structure, and we'll try to understand what is resonance, hybrid, and resonating structure and all, right? So let's start drawing the structure. There are two possible structure. In fact, if you are going to draw the covalent bond structure of ozone, there are two possible structure. One is, I can draw oxygen single covalent bond on left hand side, or what can I do? I can draw oxygen single covalent bond on right side. There are two possibilities. So if it is asked whether these two structures are different or same, if it is assumed, listen the statement very carefully. If it is assumed that we are not changing the position of atom, and suppose we are marking the atom. Marking the atom means, let's say I have marked by any way that this is our oxygen number 1. I have placed a mark on it, and this one is oxygen number 2, and this is oxygen number 3. Means in structure 1, in first structure, oxygen 1 is carrying negative charge. In same way, if you are marking, this is oxygen 1, oxygen 2, and oxygen 3. What I said earlier, that I have placed some mark on oxygen by any means. I can take isotopes of oxygen. Maybe I am taking this is oxygen 18, right, not 16. So by doing that, we can draw two possible structure of ozone. These two are possible, and out of these two structure, let's say it is structure one, and this is structure two, right? Structure one and structure two. Remember one thing. These two structure will be considered as a different structure while drawing the resonating structure, or while discussing the resonating structure. The very important point that we will made a conclusion later on, and the conclusion is, while drawing the resonating structure, we can not change the position of atom, right? We are not going to change the position of atom. That's why I have written first oxygen atom on left side in structure 1, and similar way in the structure 2 I am placing oxygen 1 on left hand side. We cannot change the position of atom while drawing a resonating structure, keep in mind. Now what I'm saying, let's say I'm comparing bond length, right? Bond length. Here I am writing structure 1, and here it is structure 2, and I'm comparing bond length of oxygen 1 and oxygen 2. Oxygen 1 and oxygen 2. Let's by any means just measure the bond length between oxygen 1 and 2 in structure 1. Let's say it is L1, and in structure 2 also measure the bond length between oxygen number 1 and 2, and let's say it is L2. Definitely I can conclude that these two bond lengths are different. Bond length L1 and bond length L2 are different, and if you will compare, definitely I can say L1 is going to be more than L2. L1 is going to be more than L2. I'll remind you some formula and some important point of chemical bonding that I guess you will be knowing that more is the bond order, shorter is the bond length. It is the important point of chemical bonding. And what is bond order actually? Bond order is, it is very important. Bond order is number of covalent bond present between two covalently bonded atom. Number of covalent bond present between two atom. Remember this point. If it is asked what is the bond order between oxygen 1 and 2 in structure 1, the bond order is 1 because there is only one covalent bond. And if it is asked what is the bond order between oxygen 1 and 2 in structure 2, it is going to be 2. Bond order, if you will write the bond order also, let's write it. Bond order between oxygen 1 and oxygen 2. In structure 1 it is going to be 1, and in structure 2 it is going to be 2. And according to chemical bonding, the important point is bond length. Bond length is inversely proportional to bond order. Bond length is inversely proportional to bond order. And also, if you compare the bond energy, if you want to compare the bond energy, the relation of bond energy with bond order is, it is directly proportional. More is the bond order, more is the bond energy. So if you want to compare the bond energy between oxygen 1 and 2 in structure 1 and in structure 2, definitely bond energy, let us say it is represented by E1 and E2, definitely E2 is going to be more. E2 is going to be more because bond order is directly proportional to bond energy. In a structure 2, between oxygen 1 and 2, there is bond order 2. More is the bond order, definitely it is going to have more bond energy. Next, the practical fact. The practical fact is, if you observe an ozone molecule, it is found that all the bond length, all the bond energy, and all the bond orders are same. These are not different, right? So there must be some problem, or I can give you some more points to understand this. If you are not comparing structure 1 and 2, right? Just compare the bond order, bond length, bond energy in one structure itself. If you are comparing the bond order between oxygen 1 and 2, it is what? 1. Between 2 and 3, it is what? 2. And so, if you will compare the bond length, definitely the bond length between oxygen 2 and 3 will be shorter than bond length between oxygen 1 and 2. And if you will compare the bond energy between oxygen 2 and 3 will be more than bond energy between 1 and 2. So, what is happening in an ozone molecule? The oxygen bond length are different, bond energies are different, bond order are different. As the structure we have drawn, according to the structure, these we are getting. But the practical fact is, in ozone molecule, all the bond length are of equal length. All the bond energies are equal. All the bond orders are also equal. Right? That means what? Definitely we are missing something. The definition of resonance is given as if we have any molecule for which we can draw two or more Lewis structure. For any molecule, if we can draw two or more Lewis structure and none of the Lewis structure is going to explain the practical properties or actual properties of molecule, then in that case the structure we are drawing, these structures are known as resonating structure, or it is known as canonical structure. The actual existing structure, in case you can draw two or more Lewis structure, that are definitely not real existing structure, because practical properties are not explained by this. The actual existing molecule is having different structure of all these that we are drawing. And for that, to draw the actual existing structure, what we are going to do, we are going to take an average, or we are going to draw a mix-up of all these resonating structures that we can draw. And that particular average or mix-up structure is known as resonance hybrid. That is known as resonance hybrid. And the resonance hybrid structure is real existing structure, and that can explain all the properties. Let's see how. First thing, you should be clear that we have drawn two structure for ozone, and out of these two structure, both are unable to explain the actual property, practical property of ozone. So definitely these two are not real existing structure. These are known as resonating structure or hypothetical or canonical structure. Let's draw the real existing structure, that is known as a resonance hybrid, right? How to draw the resonance hybrid, or how to draw the hybrid structure? See, what I am saying, out of these two structures that we have drawn for ozone, both are equivalent. Equivalent means both are looking similar. Means there is one oxygen atom which is carrying negative charge in both. There is one oxygen atom which is carrying positive charge in both. There is one oxygen double bond in both, and there is one oxygen single bond in both. All the things are identical. If all the things are identical, I can say that these two structures are going to have equal energies. These two structures are going to have equal energies, right? Let us say energy of this particular structure 1 is E1 and energy of structure 2 is E2. Then definitely E1 will be equal to E2 because these two structures are identical. Now, how to draw the hybrid? If both are having equal energies now, if both structures are going to have equal energies and you want to draw the hybrid, we have to take the exact average. And how to take the average? Let us say, let's position the atom first, oxygen 1 on left hand side and oxygen 2 on right, on above side. Oxygen 3 is on right side, right? Now, what you need to do? In structure 1, there is one covalent bond between oxygen 1 and 2, and in structure 2, there is double covalent bond between oxygen 1 and 2. Just count the total number of covalent bond between oxygen 1 and 2, and there will be 3 covalent bond between oxygen 1 and 2, total number of covalent bond. And how many structures we have? It is 2, right? We are having 2 structures and total number of covalent bond between oxygen 1 and 2 is going to be 3. Take the average. Take the average. Average will be what? 3 by 2. And that is what? 1.5. So, if you want to draw the average structure, you have to draw 1.5 covalent bond between oxygen 1 and 2. And how to draw 1.5 covalent bond? Draw one covalent bond first, and if you are having fractional covalent bond, that particular fractional covalent bond is represented by dotted line. Fractional covalent bond is represented by dotted line. Further, we'll mention that the bond order here, bond order is 1.5. Remember the definition of bond order. Bond order, the definition was number of covalent bond present between two atoms, and here between oxygen 1 and 2, the number of covalent bond is 1.5. So bond order is written here is 1.5. Now next, in similar way, if you will calculate the average number of covalent bond between oxygen 2 and 3, again you are going to get it is 1.5. The reason is, in structure 1 it is double covalent bond, in structure 2 it is single covalent bond, total number of covalent bond is 3, you are having 2 structure, take the average, it is 3 by 2. 3 by 2 means 1.5, draw first a complete covalent bond and then for fractional covalent bond use the dotted line. Right, here also the bond order is going to be 1.5. Now next, now there are some charges. If you observe, oxygen 1 is carrying negative charge in structure 1, and in structure 2 oxygen 1 is neutral. So find the total charge on oxygen 1. Total charge here it is -1 and 0, total charge is going to be -1. And again take the average. We are having 2 structure now. So take the average, it will be -1 by 2. There will be -1 by 2 charge on first oxygen atom. Similarly, you can take the average charge on oxygen number 3. It is also going to be -1 by 2, right? Now next, oxygen 2. Oxygen 2 in both the cases carrying a 1 positive, 1 positive. So total positive charge on oxygen 2 will be +2 and number of structure we are having it is 2. Take the average, again it is going to be +1, right? Oxygen 2 is also carrying +1 unit of charge. So we have taken the average of bond and charge. Now the structure that we are getting, it is known as resonance hybrid. It is known as resonance hybrid, and this is real existing structure. This is the real existing structure, and this will explain all the practical data. How? If you observe the bond order between any two oxygen atom is 1.5. Here also 1.5, 1.5. If bond order is same, then definitely bond length, bond energy is going to be equal. So bond length, bond energies, bond order all are equal. That is actually the practical data. And one thing I also want to say, that in many books or many material it is shown that this negative charge will be shown by an arrow to forming a pi bond, and they are going to break the pi bond between oxygen 2 and 3. If you are doing so, how it is happening actually? Just try to understand. Let's take one more minute. What I am saying, oxygen 1 is carrying negative charge and there is a pi bond between oxygen number 2 and 3. Definitely pi bond is weaker than sigma bond, and there will be an electronic repulsion between this negative charge and pi electron. There may be the situation that because of repulsion, weaker bond, which is the pi bond, is breaking. And if it is breaking, the electron present in pi bond will move away from the negative charge which is already present on oxygen bond. So this both the electron are going to move towards the oxygen number 3. And out of these two electrons, we already know that if there is a covalent bond and there will be a bond pair electron, that is each electron is shared by oxygen 2 and 3. One electron is shared by both atom oxygen 1 and 2. So if both the electron is moving towards oxygen number 3, that means oxygen 3 is taking its own electron and also of oxygen number 2. That's why oxygen number 3 is getting negative charge. And if this bond is breaking, this oxygen number 2 will get one more positive charge. There will be one positive charge is already there. If the bond is breaking, there will be one more positive charge on oxygen atom. That new positive charge and this negative charge will combine to form the pi bond, right? Positive charge and negative charge appeared on adjacent atom will combine to form the pi bond if they are already sigma bonded, right? So the important point that I want to say is in many books or material they are saying that in similar way you can represent here also. They are saying that there are two structure 1 and 2, which are not the real existing structure, which are not going to explain the practical data. These are known as resonating structure or canonical structure. They are saying that these two structures are flipping in one another. That is totally wrong concept. That is totally wrong concept. There is nothing going to be happen that structure 1 is going to flip in structure 2 or structure 2 is going to flip in structure 1. There is nothing such nothing such stories in resonance. That is totally wrong. These are individual structure and definitely not existing. Existing structure is hybrid, and how we can draw the hybrid? Just draw the average. Here we are taking the exactly average value just because the two resonating structures are having equal energies. Next, in many cases further we will discuss that. There may be the situation that if you are drawing two or more resonating structure, all the resonating structures are not going to have equal energies. If the energies of resonating structures are different, then in that case how hybrid structure can be drawn? In that case, one thing we are saying that the resonating structure, the canonical structure, which is having more stability means lesser energy. The resonating structure which is more stable or lesser energy will contribute more towards the hybrid structure. The character of lesser energy canonical structure will be more in hybrid structure, or you can say the character of more stable resonating structure will be more in hybrid structure because stability and energies are inversely related. I hope it is clear to you, and I'll give the point related to this. I hope these structures are clear. I hope you are clear with the resonating structure, canonical structure, and resonance hybrid. Let us write some important points about resonance, definition, canonical structure, hybrid, and all. Then we will move ahead. The resonance is observed when resonance is observed when one Lewis structure is unable to explain, when one Lewis structure Van Lewis structure is unable to explain all the properties of molecule, all the properties of molecule, all the properties of molecule. Now the next is resonance corrects the fundamental flow of Lewis dot structure of Lewis dot structure by explaining the structure of partial covalent bond that we were discussing earlier, that structure of ozone resonance is observed when one Lewis structure is unable to explain. That I was making the point. All the properties of molecule, resonance corrects the fundamental flow of Lewis dot structure by explaining the structure of partial covalent bond. Now the definition of resonance is, make a point of these points that I am writing, right? These all are very important. Now, when two or more contributing structure, when two or more contributing structure of a compound can be drawn, and none of them individually explain all the properties, then we draw an average structure. Structure of all contributing structure called as resonance hybrid, right? And the next, and all the contributing structure are called as, and all the contributing structure structures are called as resonating structure or canonical structure. Right? These all the points are important. This is actually definition that may be asked in board examination. It is important. Alright. So just make a note of it. And next, alright, next points. Next points are, let me write that. And the phenomena of delocalization of electron, phenomena of delocalization of electron is known as resonance. One more thing I want to explain you. Previously when I was drawing the resonating structure of ozone and hybrid structure, I'm drawing it again. If you draw the resonating structure, there will be one negative charge on one oxygen and one positive charge and on middle oxygen. And if you will draw the hybrid, there is bond order 1.5 and 1.5 between any two oxygen atom, and terminal oxygen is carrying -half, and middle oxygen is carrying one positive charge. It may be asked, which one is more stable, this resonating structure or this hybrid? Which one is more stable and how it can be decided? See, if it is asked about the stability and compound is carrying some charges, structure is carrying some charges, then definitely first we are going to look on charges, then we will decide the stability. From the charge itself, the stability can be decided. Now what I am saying, there is one complete negative charge on one oxygen atom when you are drawing the resonating structure, and if you are drawing the hybrid structure, the same one complete negative charge is equally divided between two oxygen atoms. That means what is happening actually? Here the concentration of negative charge is more. It is placed at one oxygen atom, and in hybrid the same one unit of negative charge is spreaded actually. And in previous class I was discussing that the electric field of concentrated charge is going to be more as compared to electric field of spreaded charge. And any charge which is having a stronger electric field itself, stability is going to be less. So from there itself I was made a statement, and repeating again, the statement is the dispersed charge will be always more stable as compared to concentrated charge. So in hybrid, the negative charge is actually spreaded, and in this resonating structure, negative charge is what? Concentrated. So definitely the stability of this hybrid is going to be more, right? So there is one term actually to define that I need this explanation. The term is resonance energy. What is resonance energy? Let's write the definition. Resonance energy. Resonance energy. Resonance energy is defined as it is the energy difference between most stable resonating structure and resonance hybrid. Remember this. Definitely if hybrid is more stable, the energy of resonance hybrid will be less as compared to resonating structure. So if you will calculate the difference between energy of most stable resonating structure and the energy of hybrid. Whatever energy gap you are getting, that is known as resonance energy. It is said that more is the resonance energy, more is the stability of molecule. And it is again very important. It will be used while problem solving. More is the resonance energy, more is the resonance energy, more is the stability of molecule. More is the stability of molecule. Right? Now, there are few more points about resonance. There are two conditions actually. Sometimes it can be asked that in question there will be given 4 options of 4 resonating structure of a particular compound, and then it can be asked which resonating structure is not valid or which is not correctly representing the resonating structure. Such type of question may be asked, and for that there are 2 statements that can be used to decide whether the given structure is the correct resonating structure or not, right? So let's write that 2 condition also, and then we are going to end the class. First condition, let's write that. Condition for a valid resonating structure. A valid resonating structure. Resonating structure. First condition is the position of atom. The position of atom must not get changed. Must not get changed. If you are changing the position of atom while drawing the resonating structure, definitely that resonating structure will be invalid. That resonating structure will be wrong. So the next point is sum of addition of lone pair electron and pi bond electron and electron present in negative charge. Electron present in negative charge are always equal for different resonating structure. Different resonating structure. This is also very important. Let me show how we can apply the second statement. We were drawing 2 structure of ozone, right? We were drawing 2 structure of ozone. In one, the negative charge is on left side, and in second structure, negative charge is on right side. So in second statement, it is said that just calculate the sum of electron present in form of lone pair. If you will find the lone pair now, in structure 1, the right sided oxygen is carrying 2 lone pair. And how we can calculate the lone pair? Just listen very carefully. If you want to calculate the number of lone pair on oxygen atom, start counting the number of valence electron present in oxygen atom. Oxygen atomic number is 8. Electronic configuration is 2 and 6. Number of electron present in the valence shell of this oxygen atom is going to be 6. Out of that 6 electron, 2 electrons are used to form the 2 covalent bond. then you are left with 4 electron. That 4 electron will be present in form of lone pair. If you look at the second middle oxygen atom, it is also having 6 electron in the valence shell. If you are using positive charge on it, that means 1 electron is removed. If you are removing 1 electron out of 6, there we will left with 5 electron, and out of that 5 electron, 3 electrons are shared to form 3 covalent bond. Then now you are left with 1 lone pair. So middle oxygen is going to contain 1 lone pair. Now next is negative charge. About negative charge, I have already explained that negative charge itself is containing 2 electron. One of electron is belonging to this oxygen itself, while the other electron is going to belong with another atom. So remember this one, negative charge is having 2 electron. So again, this oxygen atom is going to have 6 electron in valence shell. Out of that 6 electron, 1 electron is already shared. You are left with 5 electron, and 1 negative charge is also there, means 1 electron is taken from outside. Now still it is having 6 electron. Out of that 6 electron, 2 electrons is here in form of negative charge, and rest there are 4 more electron. So these are lone pair on all the oxygen atom in structure 1. So let us count lone pair electron. There is 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. 10 lone pair electron. And then pi bonded electron, there is 1 pi bond. 1 pi bond is carrying 2 electron. And number of electron present in negative charge, there is 2 electron in negative charge. So total it is how much? 14. Similarly, you can calculate sum of lone pair, sum of pi bonded electron, and number of electron present in negative charge. Again you are going to get it is 14. This must be constant. If this value is varying, then definitely one of the structure, either of the structure is not valid, right? So remember this point too. First one is position of atom cannot be changed, and second one is sum of lone pair electron, negative charge electron and pi bonded electron must be constant, must be equal in all structures. So this is it for today's class. We have almost completed all the theoretical portion of resonance. Next class we'll see what is the necessary conditions, what are the conditions which is required to draw a resonating structure, and also we'll look some questions based on stability of resonating structure, right? So let's meet in next class. Bye bye.